In the serene city of Spartanburg, South Carolina, the mysterious disappearance of one young woman sent shockwaves through the community. This peaceful town was home to Tamika Houston, an ambitious 24-year-old with dreams of a bright future in music. Her life, filled with promise, took a sudden, eerie turn in June of 2004. Without a word, without a trace, Tamika vanished, leaving behind a bewildered family and a heartbroken dog named Macy. Tamika vanished without a trace, leaving her family and beloved dog Macy in despair. Investigators delved into Tamika's life, puzzling over her sudden disappearance. Here was a young woman, full of dreams and aspirations, who had vanished without a trace. The first person of interest in their investigation was Tamika's ex-boyfriend, Terren Moss. Terren was known to the local police not as a model citizen, but as a man with a history of domestic violence. However, when confronted about Tamika's disappearance, Terren's response was one of denial. He claimed to know nothing about her whereabouts, maintaining that he had no involvement in her sudden disappearance. The detectives, however, were not easily convinced. They knew that in cases like these, the truth often lay buried beneath layers of deception and denial. Yet despite their suspicions, the investigators were left with no concrete evidence linking Terren to Tamika's disappearance. Despite his history of domestic violence, Terren denied any involvement, leaving detectives with more questions than answers. A chilling twist was introduced by an unsettling witness with worrisome claims about Christopher Hampton, a convicted felon known to have dated Tamika. This unexpected revelation threw a curveball into the investigation, casting a shadow of doubt over Terren Moss and turning investigators' attention towards Christopher. Hampton was no stranger to the law, having been tangled in a web of crime for years. The witness, too terrified to be named, shared a harrowing account of Christopher's violent tendencies and his tumultuous relationship with Tamika. This tip led detectives to a place they hadn't thought to look before: Christopher's former residence. It was a nondescript apartment, nestled among dozens of others in a quiet neighborhood, an unlikely setting for what they were about to uncover. Within the apartment's cold, sterile walls, investigators found a scene that sent a chill down their spines. Traces of blood, hidden under layers of paint, told a silent, gruesome tale. Armed with new leads, investigators searched Christopher's former residence, uncovering a shocking, gruesome scene. DNA tests confirmed the blood belonged to Tamika. It led to the arrest of Christopher and his subsequent confession to her murder. A chilling sentence that brought clarity to a mystery that had haunted Spartanburg. Christopher Hampton, a convicted felon, confessed to taking the life of Tamika Houston, a young woman with dreams of a music career. The confession led investigators to an unmarked grave, a final resting place devoid of the respect and love Tamika deserved. It was a somber moment, a tangible end to the agonizing search that had gripped the community. Yet it also offered a semblance of closure, a chance to begin the process of healing. The discovery of Tamika's grave was a tragic revelation, but it also marked a turning point in the investigation. It finally put a face to the perpetrator, allowing justice to be served. Christopher showed authorities the unmarked grave where he had laid Tamika to rest, a closure to an agonizing chapter. This tragic case has shed light on issues of media representation and disparity in coverage of missing persons cases. Tamika Houston, a young woman with dreams as big as her heart, became a symbol of an overlooked epidemic. Her story, though painfully tragic, has sparked a necessary conversation about the role of media in reporting on missing persons, particularly those from marginalized communities. This case has also highlighted the stark disparities in media coverage. Too often, the stories of missing persons of color are sidelined or overshadowed. Tamika's story has served as a stark reminder of this inherent imbalance, as her disappearance initially received little attention compared to similar cases involving victims from different backgrounds. But there's a silver lining to this tragic tale. Tamika's story has inspired a wave of advocacy for the voiceless. Her memory has catalyzed efforts to bring about change and to challenge the media biases that persist in our society. Advocates have stepped forward, tirelessly campaigning for justice, equality, and representation in media coverage of missing persons. These advocates are not just fighting for justice, but also providing much-needed support for marginalized communities. They work relentlessly, ensuring that no story, no matter how small, is left untold. Tamika's memory endures in the efforts of those advocating for the voiceless, seeking justice, and providing support for marginalized communities. In a world pervaded with darkness, Tamika Houston's story stands as a testament to resilience, perseverance, and the enduring power of seeking truth and justice.